Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and we're back with another Total War Warhammer video. We're going to continue talking about Cathay as of course it's a hot topic at the moment and there's a few things that I want to discuss. Here we're going to be talking about possible sieges and changes to that as I've been rewatching the trailer a number of times and obviously looking at the in-game screenshots that were then released by Creative Assembly. It looks like we can get some information regarding possible siege updates just from the trailer if we look at it this way. The trailer itself is done in the in-game engine. Obviously, this is a settlement that they use to create the cinematic and so on, so this is likely a settlement that we're going to be playing in, unless they're doing some Warhammer 1 trickery, and yeah, I don't think they're going to be doing that again because they did get a lot of flack for it. So let's just spend some time now and analyze the actual possible siege map, as this could give us a lot of inclination on how sieges are going to be in Warhammer 3. We're not going to talk too much about the possible battles at the Grand Bastion itself, as this image is likely at the Grand Bastion. We can see a bunch of Cathayans fleeing, and obviously the Legendary Lord looking at the possible carnage. However, you know, as you can tell, it's quite hard to see what's actually going in there, if they are indeed multiple layers and so on. Everything kind of just looks like a settlement map from Warhammer 2, if you look at it in that way. So we're going to have to wait until we get some better aerial view of this. Instead, we're going to talk about this image, as there is a lot to discuss here. You can tell that this is a settlement and it's got that style of what, Three Kingdoms and even Troy. The siege maps over there are much larger, much grander, and let's face it, if you've played Three Kingdoms or Troy, you'll know that their sieges are so much better than that of Total War Warhammer. So it's very obvious that we've now seen a very drastic change if this is going to be the new style of it. I mean, even with this just basic aerial shot, we can see so many different things. The map itself is clearly, what, 5, maybe even 6 times the size of a standard map? It looks so much bigger, and it looks so much more specialized than this random sense. Now, it does still look like it's going to be mostly focused on a side of a map rather than 360. Hopefully we do get some 360 maps, but so far, it's looking okay. I mean, we can already start off with a positive here. We can see with my awesome Microsoft Paint skills that the walls do cover a large amount of different areas of the map. This bodes very well for sieges, as it means that we won't have to attack directly head-on, we can actually attack from the sides too. This is great, as that means that you can attack from multiple locations, and it won't be like, say for example, I believe the Dark Elf Fortress, which is just a small amount of wall, so yeah, technically you're attacking from 3 sides, but it's so cramped up that you actually have no other choice than to attack from the side. Everything here looks like it's going to be so massive, as if we look at it properly, right? Like, there's going to be a lot of space in settlements like this. This is granted possibly some sort of faction capital, as it makes sense, but it's looking promising. We can see multiple elevations too, as represented by that green and teal. The teal itself is, from what I could see by zooming in, the ramp going up, with the green being elevated platform there, so you can fire down on the enemy. This is really cool because it creates a choke point. We're going to talk about the stuff in the middle in just a bit, but I want to talk about this first, as it's pretty interesting. Obviously, this is something we've commonly seen in Troy, in different historical games, Thrones of Britannia, and even Three Kingdoms too, so it's about time that we're seeing this in Total War Warhammer, as it presents more strategic fighting. We got a little bit of this when it came to the fort battles for the Empire, but it still wasn't enough. We needed this in more settlements, so it's already looking like we've got different play areas that we can fight in, and it's not just this massive choke point where everything just gets scrunched up. If we're going to get loads of different settlements with this style at the very least, with just little different bits of elevation and so on, that's going to dramatically change up sieges, and it's going to make them a lot more fun. Okay, so now we have to talk about this, as it's probably one of the most interesting things about this city, and I don't think has been replicated in Total War before. The red line itself is a straight line, as yeah, that's where you can move your armies through and so on, but the pink lines, those are elevated platforms which allow for the units under it to walk under no problem, like if it was just a bridge. I'm not sure if we've ever had any type of bridge system like this, maybe in Thrones of Britannia, I honestly don't recall, but this is absolutely massive for Warhammer, especially for Cathay, which is known to be a defensively based faction with loads of different ranged options and so on. You could literally have ranged units shooting down without a problem. I'm not sure if they'll be destructible or not, it's likely that they won't, but this presents a lot of really cool stuff. This means that with the elevation on the side, and obviously these bridges up here, you've got a vantage point which you're able to protect yourself from enemy melee and shoot down at them without being attacked too much. It's really, really cool, as I'm really hoping that this is actually what it comes to play as. It's very, very interesting. Like I said before, it's likely not going to be destructible, though it would be kind of cool if you, as the opposing faction, the one invading, could shoot it down. Destructible terrain would be awesome, but I don't think that the engine can handle that. Either way, if this is what comes into the game, that's incredible. Like, already this is a massive improvement. If Creative Assembly are indeed planning on making sieges look like this, well, that's going to be an incredible change for the Warhammer series. My only worry is how much work needs to be done for something like this, because we've seen certain mods come into effect like GCCM, which makes very impressive maps, but the AI kind of dubs out on it. And I don't know, this looks like something that the AI can't handle, I'm going to be very honest. If this isn't what Creative Assembly are planning, I'm going to be absolutely disappointed, however, because something like this is beautiful, like absolutely beautiful. Now, the reason I have a little bit of concern is, for example, when we look here at the Grand Bastion. Yeah, well, I said I wasn't going to talk about it, but it's very likely that this screenshot is actually the same area. It looks very similar at the very least. But as you can see, there's a capture point next to all the towers, and it seems weird. Some people thought they were siege towers, by the way, but they're actually Cathayan towers. You can see from everything there with a dragon pointing outwards, which is likely where the cannon is, and at the front there's a terracotta warrior. But going back to the actual point here, the capture point is very, very close. Like, really, really close. Or at least it looks like it, because it's quite large, and it seems to be next to the gate. It seems a bit odd, as, well, that's one of the issues that we had with the whole thing with Warhammer. You just sneak a unit or two into the capture point and kill everything else, because sometimes the AI would not go back, and that was a bit of an issue. Even then, even when defending, just blop up your units there, and yeah, you win. Unless they're trying something different here, where there'll be multiple capture points, and maybe capture points themselves won't let you win the battle, but try something different. It could be as you lose capture points, you could get some debuffs, which could be pretty interesting, as that way you're not forced to defend it, but you would want to for the benefits, as it's likely that the defender could then have some extra benefits. I don't know. It just sounds better than the whole mosh pit for the capture point sometimes, because the AI is kind of, well, stupid. Let's just be very honest about that. Now, going back to the bridge section before, it's very likely that these, I don't know what to call them. Well, whatever. These artillery pieces, we'll just call them that for now because we don't have an official name, they're likely firing from the bridges, as it kind of looks like it, doesn't it? The thing is, we're seeing a trailer like this and our expectations are high. We had that issue with Warhammer 1 with dwarves firing from multi-layers and so on, and if Creative Assembly aren't going to implement this, it's going to leave a lot of people mad, including myself. I mean, you're seeing something done in an in-game engine, and you're expecting to see something like that, which this is totally possible. I mean, the bridge itself is easy enough to fit some units there, and you can also fit some artillery. We can see the stairs on the side. This looks like it's the entrance to the actual settlement that we were watching before. I mean, even something as basic as this, you know, some stairs and elevator platforms here. Something like this, which again has been featured in the Empire Forts, is a big enough change to at least add some extra flavor. The Warhammer series is absolutely massive and fantastic, and I believe it's probably the best-selling series for Creative Assembly. but the sieges are just lacking, and it's a weird thing considering that, well, you know, Troy, Thrones of Britannia, Three Kingdoms, even Rome 2, Attila, they all have fantastic sieges, so they can easily just draw from those maps and just reskin them to Warhammer style. I honestly think that what they've showcased in this trailer is exactly what we're looking for. It's going to be part of the siege rework and so on, but we're going to have to wait and see. Now, there is one fear that I do have, and it's a genuine fear. It's all well and good if Cathay, Kislev, and the Demons of Chaos get their own special cities and so on, but does that mean that we might have a issue with the Mortal Empires? I mean, if we're going to get a full world, or at least close to it, we're likely going to have a lot of reskin settlements. I know people don't want to hear that because obviously that was a massive issue with Warhammer 2, where literally, there were only like 10 different types of settlements when it came to sieges? I really, really, really hope that this is not going to be the case where we only end up with 10 different types. Some different variety will of course be good. Yes, the visual aspect does change when you of course then bring in all the art assets from different races and factions, but there needs to be more, or else people are going to get bored, especially if we're expecting a massive map. Having the same stuff over and over again is going to be kind of brutal. I'm not saying that there has to be nothing but unique settlements, by the way. Like, that is very self-entitled and it's just logistically impossible. That would mean a lot of work needs to be done, whereas I'm fine with reskins, but there needs to be a bigger pool of those reskins. I don't know, we're gonna have to wait and see, and I'm just literally going through assumptions and just looking over some screenshots of stuff, because it does look like they're hinting at what's to come, and we'll likely get something at some point. They did say September, though we're already in the middle of the month, so we're gonna have to wait and see when that actually happens. But what do you guys think? I would like your opinions on this. I'm honestly in this thing of, it looks like it might be a tad too unrealistic because the series has kind of sucked when it comes to sieges, but then again, they have been working on this game a long time, and obviously there's a delay, but then I'm thinking about the Mortal Empires thing, which also worries me too. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and let's start a bit of a discussion. But with that, my friends, we've come to the end of our video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, might I suggest giving the video a like, or even subscribing to the channel, as it really does help us out. In the description section below are various links to different social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and Discord. Also in the description section is an affiliate link with Element Games where you could buy loads of hobby-based products, not just Warhammer, for 10 to 25% off. Making a purchase using that link and also our special code, which is also in the description, supports the channel at no extra cost to you, which we think is rather cool. A big thank you to our patrons. Your support means the world to us. It's amazing that people want to help a small channel like us grow and get to a higher level of content. A big thank you to Gibraltar LUSC, Ryan Bertsche, Andrew Prince, and Okro for subscribing to us at our Fane level. You guys are super cool. And a big thank you to Edward Yule, VS Vasan, Aaron Whitman, and Shaggy for subscribing to us at our King level. Honestly, we can't thank you all enough. And lastly, a big thank you to all of you for liking, sharing, and commenting on these videos. Honestly, it's because of you guys that the channel has been growing at such a great pace lately, so we can't thank you all enough. But with that, my friends, thank you so much for watching once again, and we shall see you all again very, very soon. Have a good day.